Hey, this is Ty from Wand. I'm going to show you a quick tutorial on how to make original characters and comics using Wand. Wand lets you turn rough sketches into fleshed out images when prototyping. And the key selling point for me is that you can actually teach it to understand your own personal style. So the drawings are fleshed out in a way that's actually consistent with how I would draw. I'm a traditional and digital illustrator, as well as a photographer and filmmaker. And while my roots are in analog media, I've been experimenting with Wand as a tool to combine seemingly disconnected aspects of this process. Wand can incubate and accelerate the connections between sources of inspiration, concepting, and final product. I love drawing comics, but as anyone in the industry knows, creating full-color comics is a group effort. Penciler, inker, colorist, lettering, etc. And producing a single page could be days of work from an entire team. Not all of us are able to secure the funding and resources to build a team to work on a comic. And most of us do this in our spare time, panel by panel, over years. Now with Wand, I have this potential to create a full-fledged book-length comic as a lone creator without funding. And I can do it in a way that's actually consistent with my artistic vision and style. Now, what about the joy of drawing? This is still here with Wand. Don't worry, it's not going anywhere. Not only can I draw and color in-app, I can cross-pollinate using paper and pen, Procreate, Photoshop, and Wand to make a finished product. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys how. What I'm going to focus on in this video specifically is how to train a style in Wand on different components of essential artwork for comic creation, specifically character and environmental or background art. We're going to see how the artificial intelligence reacts to my original work and creates images in alignment with my aesthetic vision. This video is going to demonstrate how I can tweak and edit these images in-app with Wand's drawing features and then use them to create fully realized comic pages. So as I've been talking, as you can see here, I've been working on this illustration that I'm going to use to help guide Wand in my aesthetic vision. We've got this really nice illustration with some rocks and trees, stream going through, and this is going to be one of the images that I use to train a style that Wand will then learn from to try and reproduce my own style. So let's start out by opening the Wand app. And right here, this is my opening screen where we have this gallery of current projects that I'm working on. And if you watch the other tutorials, this is all going to look familiar. But before we start a new project, let's focus on training a style with original artwork. When we train a custom style, we will be able to select it in the canvas, and then any outputs that we generate will be aesthetically aligned with the images that we trained the style on. Wand has a bunch of these pre-made styles that give users a sense of how this works. So we're going to see here, we have this model. This is based on Cezanne. These images are going to be in alignment with Cezanne pieces. When you're making a style, it's really important to give it good training images. You generally want the images to have a very consistent theme for the best results. For starters, let's work on making a general style for the backgrounds that I make in my comics. In this case, I'm going to just train a handful of images I've made that all embody the same aesthetics, including this one here that I've been working on. It's also worth noting that these images are going to get cropped to a square when you upload them to the back end. So you might want to crop really long images before using them to ensure that the focus is right. As you can see here, all these images that I've selected are in this square aspect ratio. So now I'm going to name the model. This one's going to be environment. And I'm just going to press create. This is going to take about 10 to 15 minutes to train. So we have here with this environment style that we've trained, there's a very consistent color scheme, and these are clear trace elements of the original image that the style has reinterpreted into the work. And I just find this really fascinating. It's not always going to do something that I would do, but I'm not working with a machine, I'm working with an intelligence. And it's not simply regurgitating, but it's reimagining. And these reworked aspects of the work often push me as an artist to think about new ways to push my own practice. It's also melding these environments so that they can exist in the same image. You see, I have this forest image here, I've got this desert image, and I've got this stream one here. They're all going to play off each other in these really interesting ways. I'm going to test this combined environmental background style real quick, and we're just going to do this all in app. So let me go back to the home page now that it's trained again. So I've opened up this new project here, new blank canvas, and now I'm gonna draw an idea for a background composition using Wand's in-app drawing features. So let me just select this pencil tool over here, and we can adjust the sizing, and this tool is gonna be great to do this sketch. I'm gonna draw this out here. Okay, we're gonna make something that's kind of this desert composition. All right, we're gonna add some sky, we're gonna add some textures into these rocks. And there we go. Now we have a sketch that we've made in app. So as you can see, this drawing tool is effective for making like quick colored sketches, which, you know, is really all you need to give a style or to give Wand to morph your images. The higher the detail that you put into the sketch, the more that you're gonna get out of it. But let's just remember that color is gonna be key here. Basic shading and color are gonna help tremendously with morphing, okay? Now we're ready to morph. Let's apply this environment style, and we can adjust the intensity slider here for the morph intensity. There's different degrees of intensity, which we have measured by percentages, and this written scale, which describes how low intensity is gonna keep the image largely similar to the original, and high intensity, which is a remix, is gonna make big changes to the original image with more variety. This intensity slider is gonna be something you're gonna wanna play around with a lot while you hone your morphs. I've just set the intensity to moderate right here, and let's see how we go. Okay, let's morph this. So here's what my environment style has come up with based on this original sketch. And I'm really loving how we have the shading here that now is translated really well, and the colors have been adapted nicely. There's some texture in here, and this has all the original data has been retained and then readapted, which is what Wand is all about. This is super exciting to me. We can refine it though if we really want to. Let me just draw some water over here going through the background. And now I'll just type in a little text-based prompt to guide it, and we'll hit morph. And you can see how this process is just all about editing and refinement. We can just add something in, take it out, easy peasy. So now I want to import a photo into Wand and test the environment model just to show you how it would look. This is a photo that I took off of my phone from my apartment, and it's really interesting to me because I can take sources of inspiration like these reference photographs and adapt them to my style to get compositions that I personally couldn't conceive of. So we have it in here. Let's apply the style, and I'm just gonna morph this real quick. And even off this one morph, a couple morphs, and no text-based prompt, we've got this beautiful composition. And that's because there's a richness in the data of this image and, you know, the quality of this image. We have all these beautiful layers of sky, and there's a lot of different tones, there's a lot of detail. And the way that Wand's adapted this into a style that's representative of mine, I just think it's super beautiful. Like, this is super exciting to me. And this is just showing you some more of the capabilities of the style app. You don't have to just base it off your drawings. You can use other sources of inspiration, bring them in, and then adapt them to your style. So now I'm going to train a couple of other styles based on the main character for this comic that I'm drawing. This is my main character, Leaf, and here are some full body drawings that I've done of Leaf. As you can see here, these are all full body, but I've drawn him in different positions and angles. So when I import this into the style, and I'm trying to generate images of Leaf, there's going to be a reference for what he's supposed to look like in these positions. And this is really, really similar to an animation reference sheet, other than the fact that I'm going to have to fully render these in color because, again, while line work is good for Wand's AI to learn, it learns far better with colors. So we have this group of 3 images, and I'm just going to train a style on this for now. We're going to add these in, and we'll hit train. I'm also going to want these close-up images of Leaf because, again, when we're doing the comic panels, we're going to want to have these kind of nice face portraits. We're gonna want profile, we're gonna want close-ups, okay? And we really wanna be specific with the input data set. So the last data set was just these full body compositions. We're trying to get different angles. So this one, we're just gonna do the same thing, but with just the face, because we wanna have it so if I have a panel that is just a close-up shot of Leaf's face, then Wand won't confuse it with trying to add in other parts of Leaf's body into the morph or something. We just want to keep it really focused and consistent. So we can use these aspects of Wand really to our advantage with comic creation, because one of the most difficult things about production for comics and for animation is having a consistency with characters and environments. And this is why for pre-production of comic or animated projects, there's usually a style guide, there's reference sheets for characters and environments, so that all these various people working on a project, or just, you know, the auteur has something to check if the costumery or the facial features or whatever details are inconsistent. So incorporating Wand into this workflow by training styles on specific characters or specific environments really has the potential to aid tremendously with an overall style consistency. All right, so now that we have these styles trained, I think it's time for us to just make this page for the comic. And if I wanna make a page, at first I'm just gonna have to storyboard. And Wand's drawing tools are great, and there's gonna continue to be added more brushes and more drawing tools, including layers. But realistically, for a lot of artists, the workflow is gonna be using, if you're on iPad, if you're on iOS, you're gonna be using Procreate most likely. So I'm just gonna do a quick demo of, let's draw a storyboard in Procreate. Let me go open that up right now. And here, I'm just gonna start drawing the storyboard for a page. I've been training these styles on the Leaf character environment, so I wanna draw this storyboard that's gonna maximize the potential of my styles. So up here, let's just draw, we got this cliff with mountains in the background, and we have a close-up here of Leaf, this kind of portrait. We have this other close-up. So for this last panel, I've got a vertical shot here with another perspective on the cliff, and then Leaf is kind of standing in this pose here, and we'll just add some color to all this. Okay, this is looking great. So I'm gonna crop elements of these and import them into Wand. And since each of these panels are separate images, the degree of control is just a lot finer than trying to throw the whole storyboard in there at once. We want to treat these as separate images. And also the environment and the character styles, they're different. So what I've done here is I've isolated these character illustrations from the backgrounds. And when I morph in Wand, I'm gonna do these separately, reintegrate everything in Procreate at the end. Okay, so let's just give it a shot. So let's go back to Wand. I wanna start out with this first panel here with the cliff overlooking this multi-tiered landscape. I'm importing this image into Wand with Leaf removed for now so that the style just doesn't get confused. So I've selected the environment model that we've just trained and seen the capabilities of. And now we're gonna type in a prompt to kind of guide this, which it's not always necessary, but it can really help refine the vision depending on how specific you want to be. So let me just type in this prompt, describe what's going on here. And I'm going to keep the intensity here, which as we can see, adjusting can really change the image. I like my original vision, but obviously this is a rough sketch, so the final is going to have to look very different in terms of quality. So let's generate and just see how this comes out. Okay, these are looking great. This is holding up with the style, but this isn't quite there yet. So again, I want to adjust the intensity here. Let's just play around with that and then continue to morph. I'm going to select one of these that I really like and then just kind of keep playing off of it until I get a background that I like. So let's just hit morph. And here I'm really liking these ones here, how there's some shading in this cliff. This looks like something that I would do. And I'm digging this. So I'm going to pause here and let's just repeat this process now, but with the other panels. So now we have this other environmental storyboard image. Leaf's removed from this one. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to put it into Wand. We got it right here. Let's add in some description for what's going on. So we'll type in a little prompt and morph. I like these initial ones, but this could be refined. So again, I'm gonna guide with the prompt and let's morph again. Let's adjust the intensity. Okay, wow, this is really, and if you see here, this is really cool to me that these loose lines that I've drawn in the storyboard have actually become part of the composition, and through further morphing and refinement, they've stopped just being black lines and now they're part of the shading and the texture, which is really great because that's what I was trying to do in the storyboard, was allude to that. So yeah, this is great. I'm gonna just keep moving along to these other iterations. All right, so let's just go back to that first panel where we have this full body shot of Leaf, and I'm gonna bring him into the app. We got this colored sketch here, and this one is really low res, but that's fine. We have the colors, we have the line work, and Wand is gonna adapt to this quality. Let's apply the Leaf character style that we've just trained with the full body images. And let me guide this with the prompt and intensity. Let's say morph. Yes. Okay, look at this full body image. We're not here yet, but this is looking great. Let me refine this a little bit more with the intensity slider and make sure all these details are correct. We want to make sure the spear's coming out right. Awesome. Okay, awesome. This is a great first image of Leaf. Awesome. This is a great first image of Leaf. Let's move on to these other images that we're gonna use for the other panels. So now we have the final image of Leaf standing overlooking on the cliff, and we've got this environmental shot with the cliff. So let's just take this colored image of Leaf here, and these are rough storyboards. These lines are pretty thick, so I'm curious how this is gonna work with the style, how it's gonna adapt these, okay? Oh, okay, whoa. These are cool. Just because my line art was really thick here, now it's interpreted these into these really expressive, broad strokes. And I'm just really stoked about this because even this brushwork looks like my work, okay? These are lines that I would draw or I would want to draw. And the versatility here, this is just amazing. But for this panel, this is too thick of a line work for me to use to be style consistent here. Okay, so let me adjust the intensity slider and we're gonna refine this. All right, perfect. This fits the overall comic more. I'm happy with this Leaf right here. We've got the spear a little more detailed and this line work's a little thinner. I think this is gonna work great because also we're gonna downscale the size of this to make it fit in the comic. Here's this close-up shot of Leaf in profile. Let me bring it into the app and apply the Leaf portrait style to him, the one with all the faces, because again, this is a close-up. So now let's see how it adapts the close-up to our storyboard. We're gonna click morph. Some of these first generations, I think, could use some work. We're getting here good. So let's adjust this morph intensity, okay? All right, let's just adjust and let's play around with this a bit. Wow. Okay, look at this. This is refined. I love how the line work in my sketch has been adapted into these beautiful bold lines, okay? There's a difference in the tapering over here. We can look at this. And right here under the neck, this shading has translated really, really nicely. I'm super happy with this. Thank you, Wand. Okay, we're gonna clean up some of these edges here with the brush tool. You see how there's this little bit sticking out from the nose and this, I don't know, I don't like that. But again, we can just clean it up with the brush tool and run it back through. And again, when you make any edits after a full morph with the eraser tool or the brush tool, and you click morph, automatically the only thing that's gonna morph are the changes that you've made. It's only gonna be those areas that are highlighted that the morph will apply to. So with these small changes, when I hit morph, it shouldn't affect the rest of the image. And boom, we've got it. Let's now try this again, but with this shot of the feet, okay? This is gonna be a bit more difficult shot to nail. If we look back at the character model, okay? It's got these kind of wraps on the feet. And since I'm running it through the character style, it's going to be interesting to see if the grass translate in this style. You see we have the grass here in this bottom register, and this line work is also really rough for the storyboard. So I'm just really curious to see how Wand takes this and moves forward. All right, so let's type in a prompt to guide the image, and I'm going to be really specific here. And let's morph. Okay, so these generations are looking decent, but it could be better. Boom, let's hit morph. Great, great. I'm loving this. Yeah, these are looking really nice. I'm really excited that the grass translated running it through this style, because I was wondering if I was gonna have to put it through the environmental style, but it learned, it knew what it was doing, and that's excellent. I'm super stoked about this. Okay, let's move on to our final shot. So this last step before we put everything back into Procreate and turn it into a comic page is with these two character close-ups of Leaf in profile and his feet. We got some background with the clouds I want to add in. So let's just throw this storyboard sketch into Wand and make these. Let's hit morph. Okay, perfect. Now we're gonna reintegrate this image back into Procreate into the panels. Let's go. So I'm back in Procreate. I have my original storyboard, and we're gonna import these images that we've saved from Wand back in, and I'm just gonna resize them over the old storyboards. Okay, so bringing in these environment ones, boom, boom, this is looking great. We're gonna add the characters, resize them. Okay, this is awesome. And the sky background, I just made this. Let's pop that back into place. And let me draw some panel outlines using the thick brush tool. Let's give it this nice organic feel. Change this from a blank white background to a kind of toned tan. There we have it. Now I've just made this highly detailed comic page. I mean, look at this. Let's toggle back between the two real quick. Yeah, you see how the vision is very much adhered to the storyboard. This conversation that I've had between me and these styles that I've created, I'm really happy about the results here. And there we have it. We've made a comic page using Wand. I hope for anybody watching this video that it's been helpful for your comic creation process, or just for learning how to maximize Wand's potential. Training images in your own style is one of the key features of Wand that I really just love, and it appeals to me as a visual creator. Now it's time to make your own. Train a character model yourself, or use one of these Wand styles to get started and go from there. Remember, you can always share your creations to other Wand users and to the Wand team on our Discord channel, where we're also happy to provide support for you. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'm really excited to see what you guys make using the app, and enjoy Wand.